Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we get to talk about Cronin, a character that just got some pretty wild buffs. And yes, he's still an EX character. He's not going to be as valuable as a UE character because those characters are just going to do pretty much bonk-o damage. But you know what? These EX characters can do some pretty bonko damage as well, and they really do come in a lot handier than people give them credit for, because you can actually use these characters instead of UE characters to fill up your plug-in team. Like, you can actually take them up to level 90 much easier than it is to take a UE character up, and it actually can save you a lot of rubies, especially if you already have these characters, whether it's Cronin or any other EX character. So this is something I really love about this guy, because he is a purple defensive fighter, and if you take a look at the purple characters that we do have as far as UEs are concerned, right, we have these four. Now, two of them were free with Mukai and Jamie, and there's a lot of people out there that don't have Jury. There's a lot of people out there that don't have Shen Wu, so they're not going to have a full level 90 team. So they could easily have these two free characters that they got if they've been playing this game long enough, and then if they have Cronin, they'd be able to take Cronin to A9 and use them on the team to complete their purple team, right? That would be sick, right? That really helps the cause as far as, allowing yourselves to set up a much easier team than just trying to have, three UE characters, right? You could skip certain characters and move on to another character, knowing that you have a purple or whatever a color that EX character is. And the fact that they buffed this character up, he's just a lot more fun to play, because the way it was before, whenever you jump in like Absolute War or League Match, especially Absolute War, you would find that sometimes you'd face against certain opponents like the UE characters, and man, they would destroy you. They would absolutely destroy you, or it would take you forever to do enough damage to these opponents, right? It would take you forever. And whenever you use Cronin, you guys can see that I've already used him. He destroyed this thing, destroyed level 90 UE characters like it's nothing. I wish I'd recorded that, but my bad, guys, I didn't. But it was just so easy with the character, and Hong Hell too, by the way, that it's not even funny. And the things that they did for the character, I mean, let's talk about the things that they did. So they really buffed him up, guys. They changed his leadership to 50% increase to attack. They increased his attack by 100% for defense for 12 seconds. This used to be like 6 seconds or 7 seconds before. I can't remember exactly how long it was, but 12 seconds now? That is nice. It keeps your buff up a lot longer, whether it's for him or for another character coming in, because you could actually use him as a sub DPS slash support character if you really choose to do so. And then he applies Infernal Flame, up to equal to 1,000% of attack, and he petrifies now for 3 seconds. He now has, with all this increased damage, fan damage now, the increased attack by 850%. Oh my god, for 12 seconds. And then, of course, the deal burn damage goes to 1,000% of attack, and the increased critical rate by 80%, and defenses by 40%. Now his active 3 skill damage goes up to 800%. And this is the skill that he does all the damage on. This thing is vicious. And then his active 3 skill, Fusion Blaster, right, gives him the increased target damage received by 30% for 12 seconds, right? This is the first time that you actually tap his third skill. And then whenever you fully charge this thing, it gives you increased target damage received by 40% for 12 seconds. So literally from his third skill, you can get an increased target damage received by 70%. If you tap the third skill once and then tap the third skill, hold it down for a full charge, the next time you'll get 70% increased target damage received for 12 seconds. And before, this was only like 7 seconds. So this makes it a lot easier to use him as a support, not to mention just using him as just a solid damage dealer. You don't have to try to get within that 7-second window. If you're using him as a support, I mean, there are better supports, but if you're using this guy as a support, you have to be within a 7-second window in order to make him optimal. You can actually kind of have quite a bit of leeway, because now these buffs are for 12 seconds. And then his finisher can be used while being attacked. It's an interrupt skill now, guys. His finisher is an interrupt skill. This is OP for this character, especially if you have him in A5, as we'll talk about here in a little bit. And then he increases critical rate by 20%, critical damage by 200% for 12 seconds upon use. His EX skill, look at this, guys, increased finisher damage by 800% for 6 seconds upon use. He literally uses the EX skill over and over and over. So the fact that they made it an interrupt skill, the fact that they buffed that thing up on top of all the other buffs that he got, and the fact that he gets the increased target damage received for a lot longer period of time, this is insane. And now, the core effect controlled arm is on a 7-second cooldown, right? And this is that increased target damage received or target by 25% for 5 seconds. The only thing that would have been better if they would have made this instead of 5 seconds, if they would have made this 12 seconds, just like the other increased target damage received from his third skill, because then he would have, 95% increased target damage received for 12 seconds. Instead, he's only going to have 95% for 25% because the first skill, whenever he is the heat shield, so whenever you use the first skill, you will apply this from a score. But because it's only on a 7-second cooldown, guys, that means every other 2 seconds, this thing will be up. He's going to have an insane amount of increased target damage received. Really awesome. Then he has the immunity core up to 4 seconds, right? Increasing his survivability, much more than what it was before, man. He's just so much better, right? And I know he's an EX character, right? And every time I make a video about an EX character now, people are like, oh, they're not UE, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But they're still fun to use. You can still use them in pretty much every game mode in the game, especially if they're A3. You can use them as supports. You can use them in Absolute War. I faced 10 matches of Absolute War today, right? I was using tons and tons of EX characters. They're just a lot of fun. It's good to have some use with them, especially after they get these buffs. And this guy, Lord have mercy. So I'll show you guys something really interesting. So I'm using this set right here on him. This increases his own attack by 175% of defense. He is a defensive character, and critical rate by 12% when a defense fighter lands a skill. So he's getting these buffs, and then he gets the critical damage up to 120% because he is an EX fighter. Now, this one here is a little tricky. So increase attack by 30% when landing a skill on a chill target up to 120%. Now, I'm not saying this is the best card, but this was a really good card set to use on him because he can benefit from all of these if you have the right option card equipped. Now, this third one here will only work if you are applying chill, whether it's from a striker or whether you're using this card right here, because whenever you do a critical hit, you have a 50% chance to deal chill damage. And if you do chill damage, you might get that buff from the card set on top of the other buffs that it already has. It's a really OP set for him. This is nothing for him because he's a defensive fighter, so he doesn't benefit from the transcended stats. Really good card. And then I'm using this one here because this actually increases blast skill damage. And for Cronin, guys, for Cronin, that is really, really good because look at this. Blast. That third skill is where all of his damage is at. It is bonk. Oh, my friends. Now with the EX core board, I actually haven't leveled up. You know what? Let's go ahead and check. Well, I could level that up, or I could level up the skills, right? I could level skills. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and jack up the third skill here, right? And then I'm just going to go ahead and level up his attack. I think that's what we're going to do right now. Yeah, we'll just do that, right? We'll just buff up this here. And by the way, guys, if you have his EX core unlocked, guys, if you have him at A5, this is what's going to be nuts for him because he can use his finisher over and over and over. So you really would want to have this here leveled up because that is his finisher. You're going to want to have this leveled up because he can do it repeatedly over and over and over so that this skill and this skill definitely max out, and then either one of these, whichever you prefer, and then of course attack, penetration, and the same old. So let's take him for a little spin and let's see what he does, guys. Let's see what kind of damage old boy can do, right? And because he has that extra immunity, he has better survivability as well. So when you're playing with Cronin, you literally want to tap the third skill and then hit 1, 2, and hold down the third for the next buff. That way you'll get all that increased target received from the third skill. You want to stack the third skill up twice. So tap it the first time, hold it the second time. So literally 3, 1, 2, hold it down, boom, and then we do the 3 PG. And that's kind of what you want to play. Now, whenever you hit your awakened skill, at least if he's under, A5, then there we go. Let's use this. And now we're just going to use our awakened skill and just kind of run through it since we don't have an EX skill. Now, Rugat's probably going to blow up on us in a little bit here. Boom, let's do that 3 PG. And as you can see, at A3, guys, and I didn't even show you the imprint stones, he doesn't have the most optimal imprint stones on him. Oh, get him. Now what I should have done there is I should have hit my third skill last. There we go. Perfect. But I just love this guy's animations. He's just one of those really, really cool characters. Oh, get him. And then you'll have the repeat, right? And there's that explosion. And here we go. Let's go. And now we can really look at the damage, guys. He's doing like 5 billion per shot. Let's go, man. Dude is putting up some numbers, right? Yes, it's not insane like the UE characters, but man, it is still really, really good. And there we missed because Peckerhead was in an iframe, which is kind of annoying. Oh, bummer, bummer, bummer. Hit that 3PG. I've actually done more damage than this. It really depends if we get that chill damage from that option card. That really makes a difference in his power. Oh. There we go, there we go, there we go. Oh, murder my friends, murder my friends. Woo-wee. Damn, Cronin, getting it done. Its skills are so cool. Oh, crap. I almost got into that 3PG fast enough, but yeah, unfortunately we didn't. And this guy's got a heal, by the way, when he does his default, which is pretty sick. Oh, well, that's kind of crap. I mean, like, if he was A5, these numbers would be insane. Like, they would be crazy, crazy numbers, guys. Oh, my God. And when you see the Imprint stones, you'll be like, oh, my God. Like, we could have definitely hit 200 billion, guys. We hit 196. We could hit 200 billion, right? At A3 on this account. Excuse me there. So let's take a look at the Imprint stones. I'll show you guys what he's running, right? And just to show you that he really could have done a lot more damage, especially if you guys like have him at A5. Oh my God. Like, he's pretty dang nuts. And by the way, Keo here is a really good striker to have. Well, I don't know why I clicked on that. Keo is a really good striker to have because he actually increases burn damage by 20%. And since Cronin has a built-in burn explosion, which means when you apply burn, you do another skill afterwards, it will literally explode all of the burn, more or less, and do tons and tons of damage. This really helps his damage big time amongst the decreased skill cooldown. But for the Imprint stones, I'm just rocking this. This has bleed damage on it, guys. If this had burn, it'd be better. If I had an original EX stone, it'd be better. If I had a stone that increased the third skill, it'd be better. If I had a stone that increased blast skill, it'd be better than this, right? It's okay, increase attack and defense fighter attack. It's okay, right? And then I have these two skills where this skill actually increases active 3 skill damage. That's a good stone for him. And then this next one increased target damage received by, 12%. There's better stones than that, honestly, if you're going for damage. And then I have this stone that increased darkness damage, right? This was already on him from a long time ago. The defense attack's okay. But if you had like the moon and the star, like these 1 plus quad 9 stones, you would be able to do a lot more damage. That stone is so nice. And if you had another one, I believe it had critical damage on it, he would do a lot more damage. So, I mean, he really is pretty awesome, guys. Really, really fun to play. He's always been fun to play, and it's just good to be able to take him against some UE characters, especially like in PvP, whether it's League Match or Absolute War, and have a good old time. And also the fact that knowing I can take him to A9 much easier than I can a UE character makes him all the more valuable, at least in my opinion. So let me know what y'all think about Cronin, and I do stream on Twitch and YouTube. The link to Twitch is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody. Take care.